So here's my Rikon bandsaw. It's 10-inch. It's called the model number 10-305. It's a 10-inch bandsaw. It does have some good features on it. You've got the guide bearings both on the side and in the back. Let's see if I can get that right there. And you can adjust either one of those. And then also, pop this open, you can see that under the bottom you've got the same thing. So these are pretty easy to adjust with a Phillips. For the back, when you actually are going to use, I think you loosen that, and that will move the whole thing up at all at once. So and then you can kind of tweak that. Basically, this is a single speed, has a brush on it to keep the wheel clean. Let's see, I am making a dust port for this bottom portion because right now there's only a dust port right there, and I've got that hooked up, but it just doesn't draw too much air. So what I'm going to do is basically cover this area right here with some dust collection. As far as you don't get you get a fence, but you don't get a miter gauge. I just made a quick miter gauge here out of wood, and that works for me. It's close enough. The blade that comes with it is not very good, so you'll want to get you a decent blade right off the bat. I wouldn't even use the one that came with it. So, but you can pick this saw up for about 220 bucks right now. Also, here's all your adjustments. This is your tilt and everything for your wheel. Let's see. Loosen that up, and then this basically slides up and down. And you have about 4.5 inches of clearance there. The motor is a 1/3 horsepower motor. It's pretty small, so you can stop this thing if you're not careful, especially on hardwood. Here's the plate. Let's see if I can get in on that. 1/3 horsepower, 70.5 blade, and it'll take from an 1/8 to a 1/2 inch blade. I run a 1/4 on it, and it seems to do everything really good. But anyway, one thing that I did do is, because there's no, you can't take the tension off the blade, I basically, once I got it right, so let me pop this open here. So when you check your blade tension right here at the back, so that's where I test mine out. Once I got it right, I just basically put a sticker up here with an arrow, and then this says 2 turns, or right now I'm at 1 turn. But that way, when I want to loosen it up, when I'm not going to use it for a little bit, I'll just turn this 360 degrees one time, and then when I want to go to use it, I go ahead and crank it over another 360 degrees to tighten it up. And then that way, it's the only way you can kind of take the tension off and then put it back on in the same exact position that you had it on before. One thing is, you can take this off pretty easy. You can take the fence off, and if you want to take this off, which that's what I'm going to do right now, because I'm going to put this piece on right here. So basically, I bought a fence adapter, DC fitting, 2.5 inch. Bought this at Woodcraft. It's 147788 if you want to buy the part. $6.50. But basically, I put a 2x4 and epoxied it to this. Then I've got another piece. It's going to go right here like that. And then this piece right here that I've made is actually going to go right up in here. I'll take another shot of that. And then that's why I took the actual fence off. And then what I'm going to do is you just slide this in, and it's going to go like that. And then I've got another dust port. I'm going to put a magnet on this so that it just magnetizes. This piece right here is 2x4, It's 3.5 inches wide, 2 3/4 long, and then this piece right here that's actually going to go on top of this to block that off is going to be 6 3/4 and 2 5/8 tall, and this is I think 3/16 ply.
So this is with it attached underneath the bottom with the dust collection, and it seems to work pretty good. I'll show you a couple of passes with it on. You can see it.
Here's with no dust collection. So this is how we set our angle. So make a cut that's on a 45. So we just loosen this, and I've got it pretty close. That's probably around 45 or so, but this will get me exact as long as I'm close to that. Okay, then I'm good. So I can live with that. And there's a stop right here for 0. Once you set that up, you're good to cut this off. I'll show you what it. Now this is pine, so this ain't gonna be too hard for it. So. But this is 3.5 inches, so. good job. You can see, nice and straight. I mean, it's all on how you set it up, but you can cut that really easy. And I'll show you a piece of oak. So, here's the same thing, but this is a roasted oak, a leg. So this is a 2x2. So we'll kick that on. Nice and square to the edge, but it cuts pretty easy. If you were going to be ripping with this, it rips fine too. If you get anything about 3 inches with hardwood, it can stop the motor. So you gotta have the right blade and the right timing as you go through. But it's a really good saw. Here's a piece of poplar. It's about 3 inches. That way you can see it's being resawn, and you can hear what the motor sounds like. Nice flat cut. So it does pretty well. So I've had this bandsaw for about a year, and I've really enjoyed it. I wish it had maybe a half a horsepower instead of the third, but you can't have everything. But it does a really good job for what I do. But anyway, I hope you like the video.